One of the questions we've asked around this table for some time is who was the person or who were the people who decided which emails were deleted and which were sent along. Well, Secretary Clinton created a little confusion on whether or not she participated in deleting the emails off her server. Here's what she said on Meet the Press Sunday, followed by what she said in August.
All I can tell you is that when my attorneys conducted this exhaustive process, I did not participate.
NBC is saying that the FBI believes that you tried to wipe the entire server. Did you try to wipe the entire, so that there be no email, no personal, no official, wipe the whole thing?
Well, my personal emails are my personal business, right? So we went through a painstaking process and turned over 55,000 pages of anything we thought could be work-related. Under the law, that decision is made by the official. I was the official. I made those decisions, and as I just said, over 1,200 of the emails have already been deemed not work-related. Now, all I can tell you is, in retrospect, if I'd used a government account and I had said, hey, you know, let's release everything, let's let everybody in America see what I did for 4 years, we would have the same arguments.
Mark Halperin, that's about a month ago in August. She said I was the official, I made those decisions. Then yesterday, talking to Chuck, saying I had no personal involvement. It was, in fact, her attorneys who vetted the emails.
You know, in talking to her supporters over the last week, they're still really upset about her initial decisions of using a private server, of how it was handled when it immediately came out. What's upsetting them now is they continue to handle this in a way where the answers are inconsistent, not just on the point you just showed, but on many other points. And she's not doing much to put it behind her, despite her going out and doing lots of interviews. And I think that the number of inconsistencies, the number of questions, amazingly, is growing rather than diminishing.
Sam Stein, right after that interview, there was a line out of the Hillary Clinton campaign that came from several officials, in fact, verbatim from several different ones, that said something along the lines of, questions about the email server have been asked and answered. It's time to move on. Unfortunately for them, that's not the way it works. There are investigations and more questions, and the answers have been different every time they've been asked. What happens next year?
Well, first of all, I agree that there's been a series of inconsistencies, and there's these sort of micro story breaks here, like the General Petraeus email, that keep this thing alive. I think the thing that you just showed, though, is probably not one of them. The way I interpret that is pretty simple. The Secretary of State gets to determine what's personal and what's professional email, right? And she then deputized her lawyer to go through the actual 60,000 emails. So I don't think there's necessarily an inconsistency on that one. I don't think anyone actually thought Hillary Clinton was going through the 60,000 or so emails that she had on her personal server and saying, nope, this one's public, this one's private. That said, this is a drip, 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 and I thought, you know, it was telling in a way that she said a lot of this is completely out of control, because it is. And, you know, whenever one of these things breaks, like the General Petraeus email, we have a new series of questions that need to be answered, and it's tough to see how she breaks away from this.